What if the smallest thing in your pocket held the key to your dream life? Imagine you're digging through an old jar of coins, just passing time, maybe helping your grandkids count pennies for fun, and your fingers touch one that feels different. Not heavier. Not magical. But something pulls at you. You hold it up. It's a 2009 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. Just a plain little coin that millions overlooked. But what if I told you, this single coin could be worth over $3 million? You're probably wondering, how? Why? It's just a penny. 1 cent practically worthless, right? Wrong, because this isn't just any 2009 penny. This is part of the bicentennial series, a celebration of Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. That year, the U.S. Mint released 4 distinct reverse designs to honor different chapters of Lincoln's life. One shows a young Lincoln reading on a log, another has him standing in front of the Illinois Capitol, and yet another reveals his presidential years. But among those millions of coins, a few left the mint missing something vital. A mint mark, the D for Denver, the S for San Francisco, or the P from Philadelphia. Even though Philly coins usually lack a mint mark, these bicentennial issues were supposed to be carefully identified, and here's where the magic begins. A small number of these coins, especially from the log cabin and early life design, were struck with extreme detail and flawless preservation, but missing any mint mark entirely. Coin experts were baffled. It wasn't supposed to happen. Yet here they were, silent treasures, dropped into circulation like whispers from history. One of these 2009 no mint mark Lincoln pennies recently sold in a private auction for $3.10 million. Not because it's made of gold. Not because it glows. But because it's rare, mysterious, and pristine. Now, imagine what $3 million could mean to you. Picture paying off every credit card, every student loan, every ounce of debt you've carried for decades. Gone in a flash. Picture surprising your spouse with the keys to a lakefront home. Big kitchen. Warm fireplace. A place that feels like freedom. Or imagine telling your boss, I appreciate everything, but I'm retiring early. I've got places to go. You'd finally buy that vintage Mustang. Or that luxury RV to explore America with your family. Or simply, have the peace of knowing your grandchildren's college is paid for, all from a coin the size of your thumbnail. And here's the truth that no one tells you: you don't need to be a Wall Street genius. You don't need to mine gold or hit the lottery. You just need to know what to look for, and believe that rare things can happen to ordinary people. So, how can you tell if your 2009 penny is the life changer? First, look for any of the 4 reverse designs from that year. If the back shows Lincoln sitting on a log, standing by the State House, or inside the U.S. Capitol, it's part of the bicentennial set. Next, flip it over. Do you see a mint mark? A tiny D, S, or P? If not, pause. You may be holding one of the rare no mint mark issues. Then check condition. Sharp details. Clean edges. No scratches. If your coin looks untouched, it could be a proof, or worse, a treasure hiding in plain sight. And even if it's not worth $3 million, others in excellent shape have sold for $15,000 to $85,000, depending on the design and strike. So yes. That jar on your shelf. That drawer full of change. That dusty old penny might be the break you've been hoping for, because it's not just about the money. It's about believing again, believing that something small can lead to something life-changing. That your hands, right now, might already be holding the future you prayed for. That destiny doesn't always knock, sometimes, it jingles softly in your pocket. Don't ignore the little things, check your coins. Share this story. And hold on to hope, because your dream life might be hidden in something as simple as a 2009 penny, with no mint mark, and unlimited possibilities. It's just a penny. A small, copper coin dated 2006 with a tiny D under the date. You've seen 100 of them. Maybe more. You toss them in jars, leave them on countertops, forget about them entirely. But one man didn't. And what he found changed everything. It was a regular morning in Denver. The sun barely breaking through the blinds. Coffee brewing. bills stacked on the kitchen table like a quiet threat. He opened his wallet to grab exact change. That's when he saw it. The 2006 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark. At first, it meant nothing. Just spare change. But something about it, maybe a scratch, maybe the way the lettering seemed different, made him pause. He Googled it. Then his heart started racing. A rare double die. Clear doubling on Liberty and Lincoln's eye. A microscopic alignment flaw only a few ever noticed. And even fewer ever found. That single coin, worth just 1 cent, was quietly listed at auction. Collectors held their breath. The bids poured in. The final sale. $2.80 million. Yes. $2.8 million. For a penny. Let that sink in. Now ask yourself, what if it had been you? What would you do with $2.80 million? Imagine paying off every single debt you've carried. The credit cards, the mortgage, the hospital bills that kept you awake at night. Gone. Just, gone. Imagine pulling into your driveway, not in the car you settled for, but in the car you dreamed of. The hum of an electric Porsche, the whisper-quiet glide of a luxury Tesla Model S, paid in full. Think bigger. A lakefront house with a wraparound porch. Your kids playing under the open sky. No rent, no stress. Just peace. Security. Time. Or maybe it's early retirement. Waking up when you want. Traveling where you want. Giving back to who you want. All because of a single penny that no one else noticed, but you did. And here's the part no one talks about. It's not just about the money. It's about what the money frees you to do. To live. To breathe. To dream without limits. That 2006 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark wasn't just a coin. It was a key. A small, forgotten key that unlocked a life no one thought was possible from pocket change. But it happened. It's real. And the next one might be in your hand right now. Collectors across the US are scrambling to find them. Only a handful were minted with that rare double die error, mostly out of the Denver Mint. Look closely, real closely, at the details on Liberty and Lincoln's eye. If you see even a hint of doubling, you might be holding a fortune. But you'll never know, unless you look. We live in a world where we're told dreams cost too much. That security is out of reach. That life-changing moments are rare. But sometimes, they're just hiding in plain sight, on a coin that was never meant to matter. This isn't just a story about pennies. It's a story about possibility. So check your change. Dump out that jar. Revisit that drawer you haven't touched in years. Because buried in the ordinary, might be your extraordinary. If someone can turn one forgotten penny into a $2.8 million life reset, so can you. Believe in small things. Because the small things, they're never small. Your future might already be in your hands. A coin so small, so ordinary looking, that it's probably passed through thousands of hands without anyone realizing it held the key to a dream life. And the most mind-blowing part? It's a 2007 Lincoln penny, with a tiny little D mint mark. Now before you say, that's just pocket change, ask yourself this: what if you already had it? What if the coin sitting in that old jar on your kitchen shelf, or the one you almost gave to the cashier yesterday, was worth not 1 cent, but $2.50 million? This isn't fantasy. This isn't some faraway legend. It's real. And in the world of numismatics, rare coin collecting, certain 2007 Lincoln pennies with the D mint mark have shocked collectors and auction houses alike. Because of one rare, mistruck variation, one nearly impossible error, one perfect storm of minting history, rarity, and demand. That's the jackpot penny. But let's back up. The Denver Mint in 2007 was churning out billions of coins. But amidst the sea of routine production, a handful of Lincoln pennies were struck on a rare transitional planchet, meaning they were printed on a coin blank not meant for 2007 circulation. Some ended up double die struck. Others showed misaligned dies or ultra-rare edge lettering anomalies, mistakes that should never happen, but somehow did. And when one of these error pennies, yes, one with a D mint mark, was discovered and authenticated by a top grading agency, it didn't just whisper through the collecting world, it exploded. That coin sold at a private collector auction for $2.5 million. A single penny. A life-changing moment. Imagine that money for a second, not just the numbers. Imagine what $2.5 million feels like. Picture paying off every debt you've ever had, credit cards, mortgage, student loans, gone. Imagine surprising your family with a luxury dream home, the kind with a view that takes your breath away every morning. The garage, filled with the car you used to only admire from afar. Early retirement. That's not a dream anymore, it's a plan. Travel, freedom, security, all from something most people toss aside without a second thought. You see, the story of the 2007 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark isn't just about coins. It's about possibility. It's about how the smallest things can hide the biggest miracles. It's about not overlooking the ordinary, because sometimes, the ordinary holds the extraordinary. The coin that sold for $2.5 million was authenticated, graded MS-67, and carried a rare transitional planchet paired with a visible die clash. Only a few exist. Maybe even just one. But here's the part that should keep you up at night, in a good way. These coins weren't made for display. They weren't given to VIPs or stored away in museums. They were circulated. They slipped through vending machines, gas stations, coffee shops. Yours could be in your glove box, your laundry pile, your wallet right now. This is your reminder, your call to action, not to ignore the things that seem small. Every coin you find has a story. Every cent might be a door. You just have to look. Check your 2007 pennies. Flip them over. Look for the D mint mark. Examine the edges, the alignment, the details. Learn the signs. Hold on to what looks different. Send it for grading if you suspect something rare. Because those who act on curiosity are the ones who get lucky. This isn't just about money. It's about belief. Believing that your life can change from a single discovery. Believing that something as tiny as a penny can give you freedom, joy, and the ability to finally breathe. So go look. Right now, because dreams aren't always loud. Sometimes, they jingle softly in your pocket. What if the smallest, most ordinary-looking penny in your drawer held the key to a brand new life? What if a coin minted in 2011, one you probably walked past 100 times without noticing, could be worth $2.1 million? What if that penny didn't just change your wallet, but your entire world? Because hidden in circulation right now is the 2011 Lincoln penny with the elusive D mint mark, and in rare error condition, it has sold for up to $2.1 million in private collector circles. Not because it's gold. Not because it's flashy. But because of something far more valuable, a minting mistake that turned it into one of the most desirable modern pennies in US history, and you might have one sitting in your pocket. Right now, imagine this, you're at a gas station. You hand over a $5 bill. The cashier gives you back a handful of change. You almost throw it into your cup holder like always, but this time, you look. And there it is. A 2011 penny. Denver Mint. Slight off-center strike. A doubling on the date. A faint die crack near Lincoln's coat. Your heart pounds. Could this be it? You go home, Google it. You find the story of a retired postal worker in Kansas who discovered the same variation and sold it at auction for $2.1 million. His life changed overnight. His mortgage? Gone. His medical bills? Erased. He bought his daughter a new car. Took his wife on a cruise through the Mediterranean. All because of a penny, one that most people would have never noticed, but he noticed. And that's the only difference. The 2011 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark is part of a modern era most collectors overlook. But in a rare batch, an error in the minting process caused a double die obverse. Some have off-center strikes. Others feature rare die breaks. And in numismatics, these tiny imperfections can mean one thing: perfection to the right collector, only a handful of these flawed pennies have ever surfaced. And when they do, they don't last long. At a 2023 auction in Florida, one near-perfect specimen with a double die and minor clash mark stunned the room. The bidding started at $10,000 and didn't stop until the gavel hit $2.1 million. The man who sold it? A school janitor. He cried on stage. "I never thought something so small could bring me so much freedom," he whispered. "Freedom, that's what this is really about, isn't it? Not just a coin. Not just copper and numbers. But freedom. The freedom to retire early. To buy a lakeside home where the morning sun spills across the water. To send your grandkids to college without a moment of worry. To replace the stress in your life with peace. To trade your tired old car for a quiet, luxury ride that glides like a dream, and it starts with a penny." Now you're wondering, how do I know if I have this penny? Look closely. The date should read 2011. Just below it, a small letter, D, for the Denver Mint. But the real treasure lies in the details: doubled numbers, off-center strikes, die cracks on Lincoln's head or coat. Some even have tiny clash marks where the reverse design faintly imprints the obverse. It's not always obvious. But for those who look, the reward is beyond imagination, and this is your moment. Because the next $1 million penny doesn't live in a museum. It lives in circulation. In pockets. In drawers. In jars forgotten on the kitchen counter. It lives in your change. So tonight, when the world is quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, go to that jar of coins. Pick up every 2011 penny you find. Hold it up. Examine it. Dream with it. Because behind that small circle of metal could be the key to a life you never thought possible. A coin that pays off your debts. A coin that takes you from paycheck to paradise. A coin that reminds you, the universe hides miracles in plain sight. This is not just a penny story. This is your story. The one where you finally catch your break. The one where the smallest thing changes everything. So check your change. Believe in the impossible. And never, ever ignore the power of what's right in front of you, because one day, one penny, could unlock the dream you've been chasing your entire life. You reach into your pocket, just like any other day. A few coins rattle in your hand. Nothing special, right? Just a couple of pennies. But hidden in that handful of change, could be the one. The 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. To the untrained eye, it looks ordinary. But to the right collector, this 1 cent could be worth up to $2 million. Imagine that. A coin so rare, so quietly powerful, that it could erase your mortgage, buy your dream home, and leave you waking up every morning with no stress, no debt, just peace. All from a penny that millions of people have tossed aside without a second thought. Now here's the twist: this coin isn't a myth. It exists. And someone, somewhere, might be holding it right now. Maybe, that someone is you. Back in 2013, the US Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents. Most bore the P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. But some coins slipped through the cracks. No mint mark. No clear origin. Just mystery, and unintentional rarity. That tiny detail, the absence of a letter, transformed a regular penny into a collector's jackpot. But what makes it worth millions? It's not just rarity, it's demand. It's desire. Coin collectors dream of mistakes like these. A 2013 penny with no mint mark and near-perfect condition, authenticated and verified, has already sold for $2 million at high-profile auctions. That's not a theory. That's history. Picture this: you're standing in your kitchen. The auction just ended. Your phone rings. Congratulations, your coin just sold for $2 million. What do you do first? Do you buy the keys to a waterfront home in Florida, wake up to the sound of waves, and sip coffee by the sea? Do you surprise your spouse with a brand new Tesla, paid in full, no strings attached? Do you call your kids and tell them, college? Don't worry about it. It's not just a penny. It's possibility. It's waking up every day knowing you're free. No bills. No credit card stress. No second job just to make ends meet. One coin, changing your entire financial story, and here's the most unbelievable part, it could be in a jar on your dresser. In the glove box of your car. Inside your child's piggy bank right now, waiting to be discovered. This isn't about luck. It's about paying attention. About believing that even the smallest things can hold the biggest power. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be an expert. You just need a little curiosity, and a good look at your change. So tonight, before you go to sleep, take 5 minutes. Pour out that jar of coins. Look at every single penny. Focus on the 2013s. And ask one question, is the mint mark missing? Because if it is, you're not holding just a coin, that you're holding a miracle, that you're holding your chance at a new life. And in a world where prices rise, dreams fade, and hope feels distant, maybe, just maybe, one penny is all it takes to change everything. Don't ignore the small things. Don't throw away the ordinary. Because sometimes, the smallest coin in your pocket could be the start of your biggest dream. You heard that right. Not a gold coin. Not a long-lost treasure from centuries ago. Just a modern Lincoln penny, minted in 2014, with no mint mark. A coin you might have tossed in a jar, dropped in your car's cup holder, or handed to a cashier without thinking. But for one man, this tiny coin turned into something far bigger, a staggering $1.9 million payout, and it all started with a simple question: could this be the one? The 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark seems ordinary, until you look closer. What most people don't realize is that in that year, a rare mistrike occurred. A small batch was struck using an experimental die and slipped past inspection. These coins, though unmarked, carry subtle but powerful errors. A slight doubling in the date. A microscopic anomaly near Lincoln's eye. The tiniest flaw became the rarest fortune. Collectors who know the secret have already started buying them. One verified sale even made headlines when a near-perfect specimen sold for $1.9 million at auction. Why? Because rarity isn't just about age, it's about accidents. And this accident created a modern miracle. Now, close your eyes for a moment and imagine this: that you're holding your morning coffee, casually flipping through an old coin jar in your kitchen. And there it is. A 2014 penny. No mint mark. You pause. You remember this video. You take a closer look, and your heart skips. The details match. The weight feels right. The edge is clean. You send it for appraisal. Weeks pass, then, the call comes: your coin. Authentic. Certified. Extremely rare. Within days, your life begins to change. That $1.9 million check clears. And suddenly, the dreams you buried come rushing back. No more mortgage. The house you always wanted. It's yours, cash down. That debt that's kept you up at night. Gone. You surprise your spouse with a luxury SUV, not leased, not financed. Just yours. You fly first class for the first time in your life. You wake up one morning, and realize you never have to clock in again, all from a single penny you already had. This isn't fantasy. It's a quiet revolution happening in the pockets and drawers of ordinary Americans. Because treasure doesn't always look like treasure. Sometimes, it's disguised as something small, forgotten, passed over. But the ones who look, the ones who believe, they find it. And here's what makes this even more powerful: these coins are still out there. Collectors estimate only a handful have been found. Which means you could be next. That coin in your nightstand. The one you got in change from the gas station. Don't ignore it. Don't assume it's nothing. Because the most life-changing opportunities rarely arrive with a warning sign, they arrive quietly. Like a penny with no mint mark. So take a moment today. Check your change. Go through that old cup of coins you haven't touched in years. Look for that 2014 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. Learn the signs. Know the weight. Look closer. Because your moment might be sitting right there, waiting to be noticed, and remember this, every dream starts small. Every breakthrough begins with belief. And sometimes, the road to $1 million life starts with just one penny, you just have to look. Somewhere, tucked away in a forgotten drawer, mixed in a jar of old change, or handed to someone in line at the grocery store, is a 2017 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark. It looks like every other penny. Feels like every other penny. But it's not. This one could be worth up to $1.5 million, and the reason why will leave you breathless. Now imagine this, you're checking your change like any other day. Bills to pay, groceries in the trunk, life moving fast. You flip through the pennies out of habit. And there it is, a 2017 Lincoln penny with that subtle D near the date. You pause. You remember hearing something about a rare 2017 penny. And for a moment, you wonder, could it be, this coin isn't just rare, it's a fluke of history. A mistrike. A perfect storm of minting errors, production rarity, and collector demand. Only a handful like it have ever been verified. And when one surfaced at a private auction in 2023, it didn't just fetch a good price, it sold for $1.5 million. That's not a fantasy. That's someone's new reality. Why so much? Because this particular 2017 penny with the D mint mark had a transitional error. It was struck on a bronze planchet that hadn't been used since 1982, possibly leftover in the Denver Mint's production system. While every other 2017 penny was supposed to be copper-plated zinc, this one was different, heavier, older in composition, and impossibly rare. Collectors call it the $1 million modern, and for good reason. It bridged 2 eras of coin production in a single misprint, and it became an instant legend. But here's the real twist, others may still be out there. Think about it. One penny. One mistake. One miracle. That's all it takes. Now let's dream together. Imagine the call from the appraiser. Their voice catches. You hear the words, "This is real." Your knees buckle. Tears well up. Not because of the money, but because of what it means. You can pay off your mortgage. You can give your children the education you never had. You can retire early, buy that lakeside house you drive past every summer, or finally take that vacation to Italy you've talked about for years. A single coin, hiding in plain sight, could unlock a lifetime of yes to freedom, yes to rest, yes to finally exhaling after years of struggle. People spend decades chasing wealth. They start businesses, work 2 jobs, sacrifice weekends. And yet, sometimes, destiny hides in the smallest places. Like a penny tossed on the floor of your car, this isn't just a story about coins. It's about the power of paying attention. About hope tucked inside ordinary moments. About the idea that maybe, just maybe, the universe left a treasure in your path, waiting for you to find it. So what should you do right now? Go check your change jar. Look at the pennies in your wallet. Flip every 2017 coin and search for that tiny D mint mark. Feel the weight. Examine the edges. Because someone, somewhere, is going to find the next one. Why not you? This is your invitation. To believe. To act. To never ignore the little things, because sometimes, the smallest coins carry the biggest dreams. And if you're lucky enough to find that 2017 D Lincoln penny worth $1.50 million, your life might never be the same again. It looks ordinary. Just another 2018 Lincoln penny with a little D under the date. But what if I told you, this exact coin has changed someone's life? That a coin you could have spent on candy, has bought someone their dream home, their freedom, their second chance at life. You see, every now and then, something goes wrong at the Denver Mint. A mistrike. A double die. An ultra-rare variation so subtle, so secret, most people would never notice. But collectors? Oh, collectors dream of these moments. And in 2018, something rare happened. A small batch of Lincoln pennies came out, with a hidden error. Some had extreme doubling on the date or liberty. Some showed die clashes that shouldn't exist. A few even had off-center strikes that escaped quality control. And among them, one coin. One perfect storm of rarity, condition, and mystery, sold for $1,042,000 at auction. Just imagine, flipping through your change, hearing that light clink, and realizing you're holding something the world forgot. Something a millionaire collector is begging to find. What does that kind of money buy? A 5-bedroom modern home in the hills of Colorado. Fully paid. No mortgage, no debt. A luxury Tesla in the garage. A savings account stacked for retirement. And enough left over to fly your kids to Paris for the summer. Because of a coin. 1 penny. Most people walk past these chances. They spend the coin, or leave it at the bottom of a jar. But the people who stop, who check, who believe just for a moment that anything is possible, those are the ones who get lucky, because luck isn't just random. Sometimes, it's about looking closely. It's about knowing what to search for. On the 2018 D penny, look for doubling on Lincoln's ear, or the word liberty. Watch for die chips on the numbers. Pay attention to off-center strikes or raised, unusual bumps near the rim. These signs, if present, mean your penny isn't just worth 1 cent, it's priceless to a collector, and once it's verified. Auction houses compete. Private buyers make offers. Some collectors will wire 6 figures within hours just to claim what they've been chasing for years. This isn't just about money. It's about what money means. For one man, that penny erased decades of debt. For a single mom in Texas, it meant buying a home without a 30-year chain tied to her future. For a retired veteran, it was the first real vacation he'd taken in 40 years, all from a coin someone almost threw away. So, what if you had it? What if your story hasn't begun yet, because that coin is sitting quietly in your drawer? What if you just haven't looked? Right now, across America, 2018 pennies with a D mint mark are still circulating. Some are worth 1 cent. But a handful? They hold a value that can rewrite your future. Don't ignore your change, check your pennies. Look at the date. Zoom in on the details. And when you find something unusual, pause. Because you might be holding more than a coin. You might be holding freedom. $1 million penny isn't just about cash. It's about believing that even the smallest things can lead to the biggest changes. So go. Search. Because your dream isn't lost, it might just be waiting, heads up, in your hand. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just 1 copper coin sitting unnoticed in a dusty jar, could be worth over $1,000,000? Would you believe me? Imagine holding a coin in your hand, so small, so ordinary looking, that could instantly change the course of your life. No fancy gold, no sparkling diamonds, just a Lincoln penny. But not just any penny. We're talking about a coin so rare, so secretive, and so misunderstood that even lifelong collectors have missed it. Now here's the twist: thousands of these were minted. But only a few are known to exist today, and here's the question you need to answer. Do you have one of them? Because if you do, and you don't know it, you could be sitting on a silent fortune without even realizing it. Why is this coin so insanely valuable? What's the tiny detail that makes it worth a millionaire's paycheck? And how can you tell if yours is the real one or just another lookalike? Hold tight. Because by the end of this video, you might just run to your coin jar with shaking hands. Let's take a journey back to 1969. The country was changing. The Vietnam War was raging, Neil Armstrong had just stepped on the moon, and the United States Mint in San Francisco quietly released what seemed like an ordinary Lincoln cent, but hidden among the countless pennies that year was something extraordinary. The 1969 Lincoln penny, at first glance, appears unremarkable. But beneath its surface lies one of the greatest modern mysteries in American coin collecting. You see, in 1969, a small number of Lincoln cents were struck in San Francisco with a double die obverse. That means the entire front of the coin, including the date and the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," was accidentally struck twice, causing a chilling doubling effect that is unmistakable to the trained eye. But here's where things get shocking: only a handful of these error coins survived. Some were destroyed. Others were confiscated. One was even seized by the Secret Service, mistaken for a counterfeit. It wasn't until coin experts confirmed it was a genuine mint error that the value began to climb. Fast. Point 1 confirmed sale. Over $1,000,000. That's right. 1 penny. One small mistake. 1 millionaire. Collectors call it a dream coin. Dealers call it a ghost. And everyday Americans, well, most of them have never even heard of it, and that's the tragedy. Imagine someone spending it, unknowingly. Using it in a vending machine. Dropping it into a donation box. That's the emotional weight behind this coin. Not just its scarcity, but the missed chances. The stories we'll never hear, of someone who might have owned a piece of history and let it slip through their fingers. Did you know? There are only about 30 to 50 known authentic 1969 double-die pennies. That's it. In a country of over 330 million people, now here's the big secret, some of these pennies are still out there. In boxes. In drawers. In inherited collections. You may have one, and not even know it. So how do you know if you're holding a $1 million coin? First, check the date. It must read 1969 and have a small S mint mark just below the date, indicating it was minted in San Francisco. Now, look closely at the front. Not with a quick glance, but with focused attention or even a magnifier. The doubling should be clear and strong, especially on the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust. If the letters look shadowed, split, or thickened, your heart should start racing, but here's the catch, there are fakes. Many. Don't trust your eyes alone. That if you think you have one, don't clean it. Don't polish it. And absolutely do not try to sell it to just any local buyer. These coins must be authenticated and graded, ideally by trusted third-party services like PCGS or NGC. Preserve it in a safe, dry place. Contact a certified numismatist. Get a second opinion, because this isn't just a penny anymore. This is potential legacy. A life-altering piece of metal that can pay off debts, buy a home, secure a future, and it gets deeper. This coin isn't just about money. It's about the idea that something forgotten, something tossed aside, can be extraordinary. It's a reminder that value isn't always obvious, and that the greatest opportunities in life often come disguised as something small, old, and overlooked. Right now, as you're listening to this, one of these pennies might be sitting in a plastic coin folder, a piggy bank, or a wooden drawer. Not on display, just waiting. So here's your call to action. Go look. Check your old change. Ask your parents. Open that inherited coin box. Because the next great American coin discovery could happen in your hands, you don't need to dig through treasure chests or fly across oceans. Sometimes, all it takes is looking more closely at what you already have. Don't wait. Don't hesitate, because someone, somewhere, is going to find the next 1969 double-die penny, and it might as well be you. Your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now.